Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and finally we've gotten to my bullet journal setup for the year. So this time around I stuck back with my notebook therapy and I ended up doing the limited edition Summer Solstice, which currently it is sold out. I did buy this as soon as it dropped, but I really wanted to try something different and opted for like a really nice bold turquoise color. This one actually has gold edging and gold embossment, but besides it being different for color, at least for me because I usually stick with neutrals, I wanted to spice up the mix and do something different, and I ended up doing a B5 size this time instead of a typical A5. So pretty much just to get things going, I'm doing what any other bullet journaler would do, and that is pretty much get your name started. So I ended up doing my name in a script or like a calligraphy style, which I don't usually do too often just because I've really just been liking either bubble letters or stamps, but I wanted something a little bit more homemade, so I ended up doing my name in calligraphy, and I am using my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. And the reason why I ended up doing it is just because I really like the fact that it just gives me different line variations, which I really love, and it's the only one where the tip isn't so flimsy. So I definitely recommend it if you have never tried it or if it's something new to you. Definitely use this. So pretty much I ended up skipping the very first page just because it doesn't really lie flat. The binding is like super weird and I just don't want to be bothered with it, so I ended up skipping it and glued it together just so I don't have to worry about it. But I wanted to keep my cover page pretty simple and a little bit more true to what I like and my aesthetic. So I ended up doing something a little bit more doodly and a little bit more, I guess, like a homage to my childhood. So I ended up doing my cover page to be Pum Pum Pudding, and pretty much I think everybody knows at this point that any type of Sanrio character has been on trend. Now, I wasn't the type of kid that was like super crazy about like Hello Kitty or anything like that, but I do remember like very vividly a memory growing up, and that's when I guess McDonald's was having one of those like promotional things and it was Sanrio characters. I ended up getting in like my little Happy Meal thing a sticker of the like one of the penguins, like the one that has like a really bad attitude. I remember that I got that and I had stuck it all over the back of my grandmother's car, like the back seat, and oh, she was not having it with me. So it's funny, till this day I still remember it because I just really love the character design. I love the little attitudes. But I guess as I grew older, I kind of just correlate more with Pum Pum Pudding just because I have 2 dogs at home, and plus I love neutrals and I feel like that's just what Pum Pum Pudding is all about. So to make it very, I guess, more on brand, I wanted to keep it a little bit more doodly and a little bit more whimsical or like kind of playful, and ended up drawing Pum Pum Pudding on top of like one of those super fluffy Japanese style like pancakes, and it's just been a dream of mine to have one, and maybe I might have the time to do it, like to make it from scratch, but until then it would live inside my fantasies of having one. So I just kept it super simple. I didn't want to do anything so grand or too much like junk journaling just because I want it to be something that I can go back, enjoy the aesthetic, but know that it didn't take me too long of a time to do. Honestly, I think it took me the whole entire process like maybe 3 hours, and I know that sounds pretty long, but considering that I do record all this stuff, that's actually pretty short time. So I just wanted to stick with things that I really liked, because also I want to be able to open my notebook and not hate what I kind of have done. I don't know, I'm one of those people that sometimes if I don't like it, I would just completely ignore it or pretend that it just never existed. And I don't want that to be the very start of my notebook, especially because I already feel a little bit nervous using such a large notebook versus something I'm used to. And pretty much I ended up recording this back in the summer, and me being me, I waited till now to get everything going, and it's because I had really bad technical issues. If you've noticed, there's a lot of light, changes here and there, and that's because I ended up changing my recording layout and ended up doing a actual camera and not my iPhone. And at the time, I was messing with the settings and didn't realize that it overexposed everything, to the point I was really contemplating whether I wanted to even put out my video or not. But I know a couple of you have been asking me, which is totally cool, but I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta find a way to fix this to the best of my ability. And I think it came out pretty okay. I'll try to probably put some pictures either in the video or on my Instagram account. But yeah, I just felt really bad that it's something that I really enjoy doing for the year, and I just kind of been putting it off for that reason. But I want to thank you guys for asking me about my setup, because I know it's almost like waiting for a gift or on Christmas Day, and you're just waiting, and you're so anxious that you just keep asking about it. That's how I felt. And I really wanted to show you guys, because I don't want to keep the beginning of my notebook, a secret, because there's nothing secret about it. There's nothing top anything. It's just, I just didn't want to spoil it if I wasn't going to do a video. But I do want to give a shout out to the very first person that did ask me, because it actually caught me by surprise. And I even asked my boyfriend if I should, because now it's being brought up. And I want to give a shout out to Gail, because if it wasn't for you starting the train of where is Lindsay's 2024 setup, I probably would never have gotten around to do it. And especially because I was deathly sick last week, or at least 2 weeks from when I'm doing this, and my sickness, because I think it was just the flu, it shackled me down to the point I was having no voice. I was miserable, and I just felt so bad that I couldn't just record normally. It kind of bugs me, but I am now better than ever, ready to kind of get this video situated. And I know that this has been a good bit of rambling, but I'll be honest, this is a very long video, and I don't have anything super planned out to talk about. I usually don't have anything written down, because I feel like it's not really genuine at that point. And so I just ramble, and hopefully you guys don't mind, because this is honestly how my brain works. In real life, I literally talk way too much for my own good, but my conversations just jump here to there. But back to the video. So pretty much we already finished the cover page, and now we're doing the future log. So the future log, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and really trying to work with the dimensions of this notebook. I've never been someone to be overwhelmed before by anything in terms of my stationery, but this book really gave me a run for my money, because it was very stressful to the point I just didn't know what to do, and I kind of regretted even using this notebook. But now that, since it's almost 2 months into the year, I'm doing pretty good, honestly. It's not too bad. If anything, I think I'm gonna hate going back to a regular size notebook, because now I have to condense all my stuff. But I actually was able to have enough space to have a full future log on 2 pages. I wanted to do something a little bit more, but I'll be honest, I don't really have a lot going on throughout the year for me to fill out beyond 2 pages worth of a future log. So I just kept it simple and made a faux washi tape design in the middle of the layout, and had the months gonna be on the top portion and on the bottom portion. And it's just really more to keep track of birthdays, special events, appointments, and maybe paydays because sometimes I forget what weeks I do get my paychecks from my job. But I just keep it really simple. I don't really find myself going back to the spread too often, just because, like I said, I don't really have a lot of pending things for me to put down, but it's still nice to have nonetheless. And if you've noticed, I did went ahead and wrote out every single number for every single month. Did I hate myself for it? Absolutely. But was it worth it? okay, maybe. I'm still deciding on that. I've been really trying to get a hold of like some calendar stamps because I feel like it would just be so easy and so efficient, but every time that I've tried to find it, I just can't. Whether it's like my local art store or even online, I just have, you know, a tough time. So if you guys do own like the calendar stamps, let me know where you get yours from, because I really in need for it, because my poor hand just can't keep writing like it used to. But I do like how it did come out. To kind of spare some of the pain, I did end up using my notebook therapy stamps. I wanted to do something a little bit more fun and not do like a typewriter font. This is more of a whimsical approach, and I just think it works really well with the aesthetic that I'm going for. Pretty much it's just anything that's like super cute in terms of what my aesthetic is. I ended up doing more neutral colors and a little bit of like pops of pink here and there, but pretty much I just kind of coordinated around my favorite color, again always 020 from the Tombow brush markers, and I just used anything that really matched. It wasn't until later, after pretty much doing the whole design layout and all that good stuff, that I ended up wanting to do these like cute little sunflowers, just because I felt like I needed something more. I didn't want to go and draw like a bunch of breakfast food here and there, even though breakfast food is so bomb. Like, I will be the type of person that would have pancakes for dinner. That's just me, and I've been like that as a kid too. But yeah, I just didn't feel like doing that this time around and opted to do flowers. And honestly, flowers, stars, sparkles, anything in that realm is such a good way to kind of spruce up your designs. If you're someone that doesn't know how to make your designs a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, definitely adding filler doodles of just like certain niches elevates everything. So for me, I would either do stars, twinkles, flowers, or even like leaves of plants. It just kind of brings your doodles to a whole other level. So I ended up just doing sunflowers, and I actually did like how it turned out, because then it opened the door for greens and other colors at that point. But yeah, pretty much now we are on to the next layout of my setup. So I was thinking about what I wanted to do for the rest of my setup, because, you know, it's pretty apparent to do a cover page and then your future log, but I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do after that. There's like a whole bunch of other creators on YouTube that have different spreads, and a lot of them are super nice, but for me, they're not really practical. I've always struggled, especially with goal setting, just because I'm someone who gets very overwhelmed with the idea of goals and feeling really crappy when I don't meet them. It's just me, it's just something in my mind that I don't like. And even then, I just don't feel like it's practically for me. So I wanted to keep this book for this year as authentic to who I am as possible. So I just ended up doing things that I thought that I would like, or things that would help me kind of remember, especially because last year I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I've been kind of learning how to deal with it, especially having to find a good relationship with routines. And boy, my boyfriend can attest to it. Routines and me are enemies. I usually just kind of go on the fly with anything in my life, and it has its good days and it has its bad days. So pretty much I'm just trying to work around what works best. So I ended up doing a reading log. Now, why did I do a reading log? Because I actually do enjoy reading, but I am someone who's super picky, and I want to kind of figure out what my taste in books are, because I do read books, but I don't read novels, if that makes sense. I usually read more like mangas and manhwas or webtoons. That's all you'll ever find me reading, and I want to kind of branch beyond that, but I don't want to kind of shun that part of like the reading culture anyways. So I wanted to kind of make it a goal to read at least 12 books for the year. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but for someone who doesn't really keep track of what she reads, it's a good amount to start off with. That means pretty much a book a month. And if I do go beyond that, that's totally okay, because I can always save like an extra page for that. But I wanted to actually have this layout be more dedicated for book covers and just overall like rankings and seeing what I like and what I don't like. It's very easy. I just didn't want to overcomplicate it and just kept it to a minimal. But on the other side, I actually wanted to dedicate an entire page for my favorites book. Now, I don't really have a favorite per se, but I do have one story that I absolutely love, and I will be sad once it comes to an end. And I mean, you can't really call it a book, but it is a webtoon, and I will probably make like a separate video about it. But I really love this story just because it is something totally new that I've never really encountered while reading. And trust me, I've read a lot of things under the sun in the webtoon realm, but this one really was pleasantly surprising, to the point I actually followed the artist, the creator, on my social media platform, and I kind of fangirl every time that they release a new chapter. So I'm curious to see if anything can top that off, but I'm definitely gonna have an open mind. Now for this page, I ended up doing a check it out. I don't think I did this in my last bullet journal, but I wanted to bring it back because I'm someone that I will see something and I'll save it on my phone but never really go back to it, and I kind of have a hard time trying to find those things. So what I mean is that I'll definitely either screenshot it and save it to my camera roll, or I would just save it in my Instagram. But I've saved so many things that I can't really find anything. So I want to make a designated place to put the things that I really want to remember to check out. And especially with the ADHD, remembering has been such a challenge that it's nice to have something handwritten versus just saved on my phone. So here I ended up keeping it super simple. I did a combination between books, shows, music, and like other things. I usually don't find myself watching too many shows just because I'm always on YouTube. I watch a lot of content creators, but I also do watch a lot of anime. Well, I can't say a lot, but I do watch a couple of my favorites, and I want to kind of expand. I tried the realm of like K-dramas, and I do love K-dramas, but the thing is, once I really like something, I'm there for the next 8 hours and I've already finished the season. So it's not that I can purely enjoy it. I binge the heck out of anything I like. So that's why I try to limit my exposure to K-dramas, because you'll never find me. You'll probably be like, where's Lindsay? She hasn't really uploaded, and I'm kind of worried. Don't worry, my friends. I'm just on my couch watching K-dramas and fangirling like always, and sending my boyfriends screenshots of everything that I find funny. And at this point, he is kind of annoyed, but it's okay. So yeah, this is just a very simple and fun layout. I was thinking about doing a finance or budget tracker type of thing, but I didn't want to make it a habit that I need to do, and if I don't do, I'll feel really bad about it. So I just kept it very simple, and I kept the designs also very simple because I wanted the whole point of this to be actually a practical layout. So I just kept it more fun with the colors and alternated. So again, the green, the yellow, the soft pink, and then a very neutral brown. And then I went ahead and just wrote all my categories. I might make another page of this if I find things either different from my categories, or if I kind of fill up way too much, which I doubt, but maybe I could be wrong, then I can also expand on it. On the other side, I ended up doing my pen pal page. Now, I've been really debating whether I should keep this or not. I do purely enjoy pen paling. I love the idea of snail mail, basically collaging like a whole little letter and sending it out to somebody. But I've noticed that with my pen paling, it gets a little complicated. And I say that because I do get that things happen in life to where pen paling just doesn't seem optimal anymore, but I kind of feel a little, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say salty because I don't really feel salty. Maybe I do, I'm not sure. But a lot of my pen pals eventually stopped sending me letters just because life has gotten in the way, or, you know, we just naturally fall off. And it's really unfortunate because I really do like, you know, I really do like connecting with people, especially, you know, old traditional means such as pen paling. But sometimes it's like almost starting a new school and it's the first day of school and you're trying to make friends and you're trying to kind of explain who you are and what your likes are, what your dislikes are, and getting to know someone. And it's cool and all, but after a while it's almost too redundant that it's a bit off-putting. And I've been kind of feeling like that really towards pen paling because I guess I'm really being daunted by the fact of starting over all over again. And it's okay here and there, but sometimes I just feel like, is it worth it? Is it worth kind of explaining myself all over again and feeling a little bit robotic? I'm not sure, that's just me. But yeah, I've just been really feeling whether I should not have a pen pal page or not. But I may pen pal in the future, hopefully. But until then, this may not be used, and it's okay, but I like to know whether it will or won't work. So remember how I said that I wanted to keep my notebook as authentic as possible to me? So I was really thinking about what I wanted to put as a last layout for my setup, and after a lot of consideration, I ended up going back to something I thought I never would ever need or will ever use, and that is a good old brain dump. Now, the reason why I ended up putting this here is because I just really needed a space to kind of put down any thoughts, any notes, anything like that, and I can always go back if I need to. Because I also don't know how long I will keep this notebook for. I know last year my Archer and Olive kind of lasted me a while. Even when I did mess up on 1 month and kind of just skipped pages, I still had enough to fit 12 whole months. Now, I can't really say that about this notebook because in the past, any notebook therapy notebook that I had just only lasted me for half the year. So I just wanted to plan in advance. But if I don't end up using the entire 2 pages, I don't really want to seem wasteful, so I kind of have the idea that if I don't use the whole 2 pages, I will just keep the brain dump really to 1 page, which would be on the left hand side, and then do something different on the right hand. And I don't know what that would be quite yet, but I might think of something in the future, who knows. But to kind of plan for that, I ended up keeping the doodles very simple. I ended up drawing Pum Pum Pudding one last time in the bottom right hand corner with just a stack of Japanese styled pancakes, and then kept everything else pretty simple. I just opted to kind of decorate a little bit with some washi tape, add some flowers here and there, and then lastly some stars. But yeah, I just didn't want to overcomplicate it because it really is a very simple layout. But if you guys have made it this far, you are so awesome because literally this has taken me so long to do, and I'm finally out with the video. It's like stress kind of off my chest. But if you have already planned for your setup, you might want to use this for your mid-year migration, or if you haven't really figured out what you want to do for February or even March, this is still a cute theme to do because it has spring colors, it's very simple doodles, and I mean, who doesn't love Pum Pum Pudding? Like, just look at him, he's adorable. But until next time, bye!